Well, hello, my fabulous fifth graders. We have been talking about division, and we've been using strategies that we know and models like the ratio table to help us do partial quotient. And that is a fancy term, right? Remember we talked about it? Your parents don't know what this is because I didn't grow up with it. They didn't grow up with it. And what it means is that we're finding part of the answer for division. Just like we did partial products with area models back in the beginning, and now you're on standard algorithm for multiplication, just like I learned and your parents learned. Well, we are doing that progression. So you're going to do partial quotient, and then next year you'll move on to long division. So we need to have that foundation of like, what do these numbers mean when we put them in there? And that's what we're looking at. We are really focusing on that relationship between multiplication and division, and we're using these strategies based on place value to help us get through this. So here's a question that I've been dealing with because I'm planning our end of the year field trip, and I had to get our bus, so many months out. So I needed to know how far the bus had to travel so we could pay for their gas, right? Well, from our school to the campground, it is 192 miles, all right? So it's 192 miles there, but is that all the bus driver has to do? No. We need to find how far it is round trip, right? So they drop us off and they go back home. So that is 192 there. That means we just double it, okay? So you just add 192 plus 192, or you know what, we're fifth graders, let's multiply. We can do 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 9 is 18, carry that 1, box it, and then we do 2 times 1, add that to our 1, and we get 384. And what's our unit of measure we're doing here? Yep, it is in miles. Very good. All right, so now we can move on, right? Oh wait, no, our field trip's a couple of days long, and the bus driver's not camping with us, so the bus driver actually has to drive up, come back, then 2 days later go back up to get us and come back down. So how many trips is that? Yeah, that's 4. All right, so we could just double our 384, or again, we can have some fun and multiply. 4 times 2 is 8, easy peasy. 4 times 9, you guys got these 9s, right? It is 36, excellent. And we box it, so we do our 4 times 1, bring it up here, add that to our 3, and we have 768 miles. That's quite a bit different, right? All right, so we need to pay for their gas, and so we need to know how many miles a gallon the bus gets, right? So in order to solve this problem, we need to know how far the bus can go on a gallon of gas. Well, it turns out that a school bus gets about 12 miles to the gallon. All right, and that's diesel. So we're looking at 12 times 706. That doesn't seem right. What do we need to do? Let's visualize this. So we said 1 gallon of gas will get us 12 miles. So that's 1 times 12. 2 gallons of gas will get us 24 miles, right? 2 times 12. 4, double it again, 48. Okay, so it seems like we're multiplying some number of gallons. That's what we're looking for, right, is the gallons to get our answer. But our answer is very big. It's 768. So we have to multiply something times 12 to get 768. Or, remember, inverse operation, divide 768 into 12 groups, right? And then that will tell us how many gallons of gas we need. All right, so let's tackle this. Remember, we're going to start with what we know. We're going to use our ratio table. We're going to label it because we know that 1 gallon of gas is 12 miles. Solid. All right. Now over here, I wrote our division problem, and I just wrote it out like we would solve it. And it kind of looks like how your parents would solve it, right? But we have a list to do. We have a way of doing it. So you can explain it to them later. And we have our 1 gallon, 12 miles. I don't want to double and double. I got to get to 768, guys. So what are we going to do? Yep, jump to my favorite number, and we go to 10. 10 is 120. Now, that's still kind of far from 760. So I'm going to jump to, what? Why did I cut that in half? Think about it. You got it? Yep, because now I can just multiply that by 10, and I'm almost there. 600. In fact, I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to go to my division problem, right? And we make that funny 7. We draw that line so we can separate our gallons and miles, because basically we're just taking this chart and we're kind of turning it vertically, right? So let's label this side is going to be my gallons, and then the things I'm subtracting out here are going to be my miles, all right? And I'm going to take my biggest number here because I didn't go over, so I don't have to subtract anything. I'm still under, and I'm going to subtract it from my 768 miles. I have my 50 gallons over here underneath my gallons, and my 600 over here. And so when I subtract it, I don't have to borrow or anything. I just bring them straight down. 7 minus 6 is 1, 6 is 0, and 8. Perfect. Now I have 168. I can go back to my ratio table. Hey, look, I have 120 here. Looks like a great number to subtract. So I'm going to put 10 gallons over here. Remember, because these are like my groups of 10 times 12 gives me 120. I subtract out 8 minus 0 is 8. 6 minus 2 is 4. I get 48. Now, if you got your multiplication down, you're golden. You know what 12 times what gives you 48. You can put that down there, add them up, and you're done. If you don't worry about it, because we have these tools to help us. This model, this ratio table will help you. Just go back to it, all right? Now, we're in 5th grade. We don't want to have to subtract out 12 minus 12 minus 12. You can do this. Just double it, right? And then that's 24. And double it again. And you have 48. So we're going to put our 4 groups over here and subtract our 48, and we zero it out. Excellent. Now, to find the answer, right? Because the answer is how many gallons, right? And we have 50, and we have 10, and we have 4. So what do? Yep, we add them together. And we're going to put it back up here at the top, because that's where you put your quotient is at the top of this little division symbol. And we have 64. We line it up with our dividend, so the 8 and the 4 are right on top of each other. And then the 6 is there, and this will just kind of help us when we get to 6th grade and do our standard or long division when you're doing that strategy. So make sure you have them lined up. Excellent. So 64 though, that's kind of a lot. And gas prices are going up. So let's figure out how much it's going to cost us, okay? And we can use our ratio table to help us with multiplying decimals. It's a great strategy. We can use, I've taught you how to use standard algorithms to multiply these decimals, and if you want to go for it, you can go ahead and do that and turn it into me. I'll give it to you. And or you can use this model of the ratio table to help you out as we go along and do it. I do have a problem for you at the end, so you don't have to copy this down if you don't want to, but I always think the more practice we get in, then the better off we are. So we're going to get to this 64 number for our gallons. Remember, we want 64 to end up at the top, and then the cost will be right below it, and we have our answer. So 1 gallon costs us $4.41. So 10 gallons, right, is going to be $44.10, because remember, those numbers move up a place value, right? And so that decimal comes back here. And then what am I going to do? You know it. I'm cutting that in half. Half of 44 is 22. Half of 10 is 5. So I got 22 and 5 cents. Pretty easy so far, I think. And now I cut this in half because I want to get to 50. Because 50 plus 10 will give me 60, right? Okay. So I moved all my digits up one place value, and it was $220.50 for 50 gallons of gas. So remember, I'm going to add these together to get up to 60. I need to get to that 4. So I go back to my 1 and I just double it. $4.41 is just be $8.82. Pretty easy. This is going to be the hardest part, is doubling that $8.82, just because you have to carry from that 16 over to the other 16 to make it 17. And that's the only tricky part. Now we're just doing simple addition. Line up your decimals and you got this. we're going to add our 10 groups and our 50 groups, and we get $264.60. And then we're going to now take this and add it to our 4 groups because we needed to get to 64. And we ended up with $282.24. Seems like a lot, right? But there are 40 of us, okay? So if there's 40 of us and it costs $282.24, what could we do to figure out how much each person's going to pay? Yep, we're gonna divide, right? Miss McLaren, how will we divide with a decimal? Don't worry about it, because we're just gonna estimate. And so if we estimate, we can get rid of that decimal. In fact, we're just gonna bring it to $280, all right? Divided by 40. You know how I love writing division as a fraction. Why? Because that little division symbol is like a little fraction bar, okay? So we have 280 divided by 40. Now, why do I write it as a fraction bar? Because you remember equivalent fractions. If we take 280 and divide it by 10, you get 28. If we take 40 divided by 10, we get 4. And you know that 28 divided by 4 is what? That's right, it's the same as 4 times what gives you 28. And so we get 7. So it's about $7 each person will have to pay for the bus ride. And that's no worries. We include that in our trip costs. And but what about that $2.24? Well, if you take $2.24 and you divide it amongst 40 people, that's about 5 cents a person, okay? Because 5 times 4 is 20, 5 times 6 is 24. We don't quite get to 24, it's only 22. So it is halfway in between. And we would just put $7.05 or $7.06 on it. So we're good. Here is your problem. If we're selling pizza for a fundraiser and we need to earn $6,000, $6,800, right? And the pizza will give us $16 per pizza, okay? How many pizzas are we gonna have to sell to reach our goal? So I have this started for you. We have our 1 to 16, right? Go ahead, jump to 10. No, not 10, because that's just 160. So we jump to 100, right? Oh, my favorite number. Nope, we just add another place value. It's all good. Now we have 1,600. What are you gonna do from there? Maybe go to 50, right? There's 800 in there. So I'm leaving the rest to you, but I have it set up so you can get it started. If you still get stuck or if you have no idea, just write this down and bring it to me and we'll work through it together. No worries, you still get your sticker. It's all good. Okay, so I will see you on Tuesday. Remember, we have a substitute, so be kind, all right, guys, and have a great weekend. Bye. And as always, thank you for watching. This background again was from Slides Go. I think I really like this group. They have some pretty cool backgrounds for us, and as teachers love things that are free, so I'll give them a shout out. Thanks again.